Lathan Lance Hand. And if you didn't catch our setup videos, Lathan has been told by the evil Baron that he must bring 1,000 pounds or 1,000 weight of gold coin in unrefined gold within 43 days over to Fort Doom, or he will never see his fiancée again. And when we rolled up, we saw that we were going to start over at the Hippogriff Inn. So we are actually not needing to stay there tonight. So we will move down to S17 and we'll take a look at our surroundings and find out where Lathan's going to go from there. So we're in front of the Hippogriff Inn, and there are streets that are just lined with silk-clad nobles and street urchins running northeast or northwest, and then southeast and southwest. So we're going to head to the southwest, and we're going to take a look at what we can do down there. As we get down there, we're outside of the Capital Armorer, and we see a big sign. It's etched in metal, and we're very well aware of the fact that right now the most important thing is that we find a way to get off of this mainland and get in the water. So we need to keep looking for a ship's captain and crew, or else we're just going to run out of time. So to the southeast at S7, we're in front of a crossroads that has just offshoots of this windy, busy cobbled stone road in Specularum. And the Hippogriff Inn, where we came from, is to the north. And then there is a gambling house, which Lathan really does enjoy his gambling. But today we're going to avoid that because I've played this before and I have ruined my quest in that gambling house very quickly. So we're going to head down to the southeast and head down to the grog shop. And we'll go ahead and enter into that grog shop. And as we walk in, we can look around and we can hire Marines. So we can hire Marines of any class except for the magic user class. And we need to pay 1 gold for a round of drinks when we do that. So we can hire each Marine for 3 gold, and that roll is going to be a D12, and that's the number of each type of Marine that is there. So we are going to spend our time, and we are going to roll up that number here, and we're going to hire some Marines basically for our party. And those Marines will come in with a 4th level, 5th level, and we'll have a little bit of ability to kick some booty. So let's go ahead and do that. We will roll a D12. And just give me a minute. Still getting used to the way I have set this up. Alrighty. So D12. So there's going to be 1 of each class available. And we will go ahead and hire the fighter. I'm not going to hire anyone but fighters for this quest, actually, because I am playing this as old school Dungeons and Dragons, which means I will have some normal men to kind of tank for us. So we're going to be able to hire 1 fighter, and it is going to cost us 3 gold pieces plus the round of drinks. And so we're going to wake up in a gutter outside. But right now, what we'll do is we will go ahead and add the spreadsheet party member. And so we will have 1 fighter. And we're going to put them under mariners. So we've got 1 mariner, 1 fighter mariner. the fighters are AC2 and they are 5 hit dice, which puts them at, I believe, level 5 in OD&D. I will check that later before we start to roll around to doing that. We do need to update our body count and then our 47, our gold count. We are going to lose 1 day here. And that means we don't have, that's not great because we don't have any rations. So we're going to have to roll to see if dude gets a little pissed off. We'll actually just say that he started with us today and we're going to try to get over and hire a crew right now. So Lathan walks into the bar there and he sees a kind of a surly looking man standing at the bar, looking around. You can tell in this guy's eyes that he's been through a little bit of the dirt. He's got that 1,000-yard stare, and Lathan, being that cocky little half-elf that he is, walks up and says, "Can I buy you around, sir?" And that fighter looks at him and goes, "Yeah, it's fine, man. Buy me a drink, brother." Lathan goes, "Okay, I'm doing it." And he gets him a shot of whatever the house finest is, and they make friends, and they end up drinking all night and end up getting thrown into the gutter about 2 a.m. and we wake up the next morning and start heading around town and looking for a captain to sail for them. And so we wake up outside. We wake up outside of the grog shop. And if we're not hiring mariners, we're going back to S19. And we're right outside of the grog shop. And we are going to head northwest to actually, we're going to head down to S27. And we're besides the water. We're at the Tavern on the shore. And we're going to enter the Tavern on the shore. So we're heading back over to S11. So we're outside of the Tavern on the shore, kind of walking with that headache that we have. And we walk in, and all eyes turn towards us, and they notice the pouch at Lathan's waist, and that pouch is pretty hefty. And so they're looking a little bit excited and a little bit greedy. And so we take a look around, and what we see is there's a strong-looking gentleman with no shirt on, standing around with a few other men that look just as surly as him. And we're going to talk to that gentleman and see if he's willing to come and sail with us. And as we go up to him, I go, "Hey, I'm looking for a captain, bud." And he looks at us and, "Hey, for 500 gold, you can hire me. I have a navigator and 72 crew members, and we sail the longship Dragon's Breath. She'll hold a lifeboat for you, and we're ready for adventure of any sport." Or any sport. And so the Dragon's Breath is actually a long ship that has 80 hull points, 1,125 rations, and the captain and navigator and crew members, they're all fighters. And this is kind of what I'm looking for. Either that or for normal men. The crew members, I think we're going to go ahead and roll with the fighter and the longboat. I believe longboats are actually seaworthy in BX, and that's what we're going to use to determine seaworthiness of the ships. So I'm going to stop real quick and then take a look and make sure that those are seaworthy. And if they are, we're hiring the crew here and the captain. All right, so jumped over to the SRD over for Old School Essentials, which is a great reference, especially when playing in a browser and trying to do things quickly. The Longship is able to be used in any sort of water. And that's what we're looking for in this game because we have to get down south into the Sea of Dread and find the unrefined gold that we need to save Misty Boo. So again, if we were buying this ship in Basic or in Old School Essentials, we would actually be spending 15,000 gold. But we're hiring the ship and the crew and the captain and the navigator for 500 gold for the first month. So we will go ahead and jump back into the video and get going. Okay, so we hired the ship for 500 gold. It came with 1,125 rations. The Longship has 80 hull points. And so we've kind of updated our tracking sheet and we are ready to get our move on. So we walk out, we're walking past the city jail after we went through the main thoroughfare again, after we hired that captain. And we're outside, and the captain of the guard kind of looks at us and goes, "Stand back, citizen. We've had too many jailbreaks lately." And we're going to just kind of roll to see if Lathan's willing to mess with that jail and mess with those guards. So we're going to give that a 30% chance. And it was exactly 30%. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens as we mess with the guard. So, "You've been warned, citizen. Guards, arrest the meddler and charge him with disobeying an officer of the peace. You are suddenly surrounded by many spear points. You are unable to even raise your arms. The guards take your weapons and armor and lock you in a dark cell. You are locked behind bars in a reeking jail cell. City guards have taken away your weapons. You must pay a fine or you will be imprisoned for 1d10 days. If you want to pay the fine, read S14. If we don't, we can stay and roll. We are going to pay the fine. It was a bad idea to come in and do this, but he's not a great guy. We're fined a percentile number of gold pieces. So let us figure out what that would be. So we are fined 19 gold pieces to get out of jail. It was worth a shot. It didn't cost too much money. I'm going to quickly update that spreadsheet to reflect it. And we will continue our adventure. So we've got 19. All right. Let's watch me. This is me going 28. There we go. Sorry for the bad math right there. That was pretty sad. I'm thinking about multiple things, but who cares? We're good. All righty. So we paid our fine. We paid our fine. And let's see. All right, there we are. We pay the fine to S14. We can go south or southeast, and we are going to keep going southeast. And we're at the grog shop. We're heading to the marketplace. As we walk through the marketplace, we're going to head over to the northwest, I believe. And we're outside of Sea Salt the Sage. As we enter into Sea Salt's shop, and we can see standing among ancient astronomy charts and nautical maps of a like young man who introduces himself as Sea Salt the Sage. And he goes and he looks at us and kind of gives us a questioning look. And for a price, I will give you the directions to any site in the Sea of Dread. My price changes with the information desired. I cannot tell you anything about the ports, city or ports, I'm afraid. And so I do want advice from dude, and I want advice on getting towards the Burning Mountain, because that is what the Baron told us would be the best way for us to get our stuff back. So I am rolling a 2d10 right now, and it's going to cost us 10 gold pieces to read entry S20. And Sea Salt keeps going. The safest route to the Burning Mountain is to follow the coast east to Kindris and then Thyadis, and then the next sail straight along the Thyadic Peninsula, that small village known as something, something, something. After that, go ahead and sail towards Minothrad guilds, and you better have a captain along. And so that is going to be open water, which is why we want a real captain and a real ship. He continues on and says that we need to sail south for 5 days and then east for 2 days. And that way we can avoid a deadly cloud that eventually leads us to that mountain. And he continues and says, "This sounds familiar, adventurer. Has the Baron sent you on this quest? If so, you might wish to sail to Fort Doom first. There you may ask the Baron for more time to complete your task. Of course, the Baron may refuse and command a greater price." All right, so we are probably going to go over and see if we can get more time with the Baron. And he sent us over to S10. So now that we've talked to Sea Salt, we're heading over to the wharf. And we're going to take a little walk out to the wharf and just kind of get on that boat and get the heck out of town. As we get towards the wharf, there's the tavern on the shore. And we can actually purchase a lifeboat, but I am going to skip the lifeboat and just jump on this longship. And so we are going to begin our sea voyage in the next video. And that sea voyage is going to be a lot of fun, actually. It's a fun little module. We're going to go ahead and probably head out over to Fort Doom when we do this and try to get some more time, because I feel like that the month and a half or so that we have is just not going to do it. I hope you enjoyed the stumbling and rambling that we just did together. It might go quicker after this, but we'll see. And hopefully Lathan can get his little love back and get married. All right. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, send to a friend, ignore me. Thank you.